Hey, good afternoon, everyone. We're glad to have you in, and we're looking forward to having a great afternoon. Hope everyone's had a good week. If it's anything like it's been where I've been at, it's been hot and humid. We have a great program on schedule for tonight. Chad, man, how you doing this afternoon?
Good, Mr. Stacy. How about you, brother?
And I'm doing good. Chad, good to have you with us, man.
Yes,
I want to
sir.
introduce a couple here with us. I don't know if y'all have heard about them, but if you hadn't heard about them, you will hear about them. We got Shay and Courtney McDonald in the house with us tonight. I want y'all to introduce yourself, if you would.
Go ahead.
I'm Shay McDonald. We're from Bowie, Texas, which closest we're about an hour and a half southwest of Lake Texoma.
And I'm co-pilot Courtney McDonald.
Hey, it's so good to have y'all in. I want to take a few minutes here. We got some folks here coming in the chat. I want to say good afternoon to Miss Tiffany McNally. Hey, good to see you, Miss Tiffany. Great to have you in. Hey, even got Al St. Cyr in the house with us this afternoon. Al, good to have you, man. It was great to see you this past week. Spend some time. Hey, I enjoyed our time, just being able to spend around. And one thing about these tournaments right here, you get to see people and hang out with folks that you see on Facebook and actually see them in person, which is good. We were just talking prior to coming on live that the next one we're going on, I know what we'll probably all be at, is going to be the MRM. Shay, y'all coming to that?
Yes, sir. We will be at Helena and then MRM.
And I know Chad will be at the MRM. That's something he always marks on his calendar. Him and John will be there, and looking forward to having a great time. Me and Michael Hilliard will be there, and hopefully I'll be fishing out of my new boat by then. If I don't have a new boat, I'm going to have to talk Troy in to let me borrow my old boat back.
You may not get that boat from Mr. Troy.
Oh, hey, if I go to Troy and say, Troy, I need my boat, I need to borrow it for the weekend, he'll probably tell me, yep.
But you're going to take him with him.
Oh, man.
I saw Bill Bender Presley in the house.
Is he in here? Wayne, good to see you. Connor McPherson. Hey, here's old Hot Rod. Y'all know Hot Rod Haynes?
Yes, sir.
Got him in the house with us tonight. Great to have him. Guys, I want to say again, good to have everybody tuned in. We're going to get ready to get started, and we're going to be talking some catfishing. Hey, and this right here is an awesome couple that's done a mighty fine job. We was at the Cat Masters in Crothersville, Missouri this past weekend, and y'all got to put a monster in the boat, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you did.
Finally.
Hey, we're gonna when we get started, I want you to just tell a little bit about the big fish that y'all caught. I know a lot of people have seen it on video, but just share a little bit about that, if you would.
Well, that was our first time on the Mississippi. That was our first time bumping in general. And from what we hear, the Mississippi was rolling abnormally more than regular. But the fish in general was probably 4 hours into bumping with nothing, just kind of sitting there in the motions, almost to the point you think you could close your eyes and fall asleep and just keep your arm steadily going. And all of a sudden, I think my arm got dislocated. At first, once it finally, I reeled down, got tension on him, I thought he was just like a 20-pounder maybe. And I told her, babe, we're gonna have to reel up, or you're gonna have to reel up, get the net. She said, do I really need to?
I didn't want to.
Bobby always says when you catch one, there's usually might be one more. I said, well, hang on, we'll see. Well, continued reeling, and come to find out he was swimming up current, making it easy on me. And whenever he got even with us and continued past us, I told her, no, you got to reel up now. We got something going. And my PB prior to that was 62. After trying to net him 4 times, I could have thought he was a triple-digit fish. Mississippi current, which I'm not used to current anyways. It was unreal. It was something. We had an audience before it was all said and done, as long as we spiraled downriver. We actually had another boat, the Joe and Blake Stringer they was probably 200 yards from us. You can kind of see them in the background of that video. And they was hooping and hollering once they seen it in the net.
Hey, Shay, let me ask you, Courtney, let me ask you this. Because you didn't reel up right away. Was you chill trying to think about what Bobby has said? There may be another one hanging around. That's what you was trying to check out. Yeah.
I'm like, where there's one, there might be another. So I'm going to wait for the second bite. You can net yours yourself. But then I saw the tip of the rod and I was like, oh, I think he needs help. Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna get y'all's input and Chad, jump in on this. I want you. There's a lot of guys around the house here and that fish that never have been on the Mississippi River, and I know just to a couple of years the first time I've ever been on it. This was y'all's first time, and Chad probably was on it just a couple of years ago. Try to explain to the folks how this thing is rolling down through there.
It's a different animal.
That's the only way you can describe it for me. We actually had the back corner of my boat get pulled up, now not pulled under to where we're taking on a bunch of water, but to where the top back platform of my transom was wet. Courtney's running for life jackets. It was nerve wracking and one of those vortex bowls.
Spun us around and kind of sucked us down a little bit. And I mean, you're not going to jump in the water scared because then you'll die, but I was definitely scared.
It's like nothing. Before we ever went over, it was like 3 or 4 years ago, my first time ever even on that river. And we fish a river system here at the house that had this controlled by the Corps of Engineers. And when they generate some water, some electricity, they move a pretty good bit of water. And we used to fishing some current. And everybody had told me, hey, man, there's some current on the Mississippi. And I'm like, man, I'm used to current. I know how to fish current. I got that Mississippi River, and I'm like, man, I ain't never seen nothing like this before in my life.
Yeah.
It was something. What place did y'all come in and end up in the tournament?
12th.
12th place. Man, out of 88 boats. Hey, that's something to be proud of, ain't it?
We were sitting 35th the first day and then jumped on up to right out of the money. But it was definitely good. It was worth it.
Yeah, and when you fish a tournament like that, I look at this that there's I think it was around close to 90 boats that was there, maybe 88 or something like that. And there's a lot of good anglers that are there. And man, you finish up there in the top 10 or top 20, that's pretty tough in itself.
Yes, sir. We was rooting for the top 50, not ever being on the Mississippi. I would have been happy with that.
Yeah. And where's your home water at? What y'all fish most of there?
Probably Lake Texoma. We're about an hour and a half away.
Now, fishing on Lake Texoma, is it more of no current there much, or?
Correct.
Now, what do you do there? Well, how do you approach that?
Just like most lake fishing, we do a lot of drift fishing, even into the winter, which there's quite a few anchor fishermen that won't, but that's really where we approach it, looking for them on the electronics, and once we find them, try drifting through them.
Now, let me ask you this, if I can get a little bit more detail from you. When you talk about just drifting, what is your preferred technique? Is it suspended? Do you drag type baits or something? What do you do on that?
Yes, sir.
You don't mind going into a little detail.
We're usually dragging anywhere from 100 to 300 foot behind us with planer boards. With the bobby weights. Gotta have the bobby weights.
Yep. Put a plug in for old Bobby. Maybe he's watching us tonight.
His foot's a little sore.
Yeah. Now on that lake, what is y'all's like the bait and stuff that you use? What is your preferred bait?
We use shad mostly because it's legal on both sides. In the Oklahoma side of the river, you can actually use striped bass if you catch it by legal method. But I have a 550-gallon bait tank at home that I keep anywhere from 500 to 1,000 gizzard shad at a time, and we usually just dip them out of there and we go.
Yeah, Boy, that's nice right there, having just a supply of bait there at the house, ain't it?
Makes it nice.
Yeah, it does. Oh,
Hey, there's a question here. Somebody asked what you caught that big fish on.
On skipjack.
now y'all, and you said you was bumping when y'all done that.
Yes, sir.
And that was the first time that both of y'all have ever even tried this. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, Shay, if you can, you and Courtney go into a little detail of just how you done. When you talk about bumping and how y'all done this, was you anchored? Was your boat moving while you done it? And go into a little bit of detail for the people that don't know nothing about this. How do you set up to do that?
It took us some learning for sure. We got there on Sunday, and Bobby, he took us out for about 15 minutes and kind of gave us the run through on boat control. But the way we did it, the most efficiently for us putting fish in the boat was letting the boat drift back with current, using the trolling motor to slow you down, and then walking baits back with the boat moving as well.
Now, how much did you have to slow the boat down? Is there some kind of combination or key to this compared to the current moving and what your boat slows down?
For us, we just played with it with the weights that we was using. But what worked best for us, it was about a 6-7 mile an hour current in the area we was at, and we usually was running the trolling motor anywhere from 7 to 8 on the Ulterra, and it would slow us down to about 1.5 miles to 2 miles almost on average, depending on where we was at on the scene.
And then sometimes we'd almost come to a complete stop. And then sometimes it would get so fast that we'd lose our bait, in a split second. It never stayed the same the whole time. We had to keep, going back and forth with it.
And there's an art to that.
Yeah.
Very much so. It was a learning curve for sure.
Yeah, we showed up there one time, and I ain't never fooled with bumping. My very first time on the Mississippi said this is how we supposed to do it, and I carried me a bumping rod over, and we like one day, and we fishing. We don't have, and so about 30 minutes or an hour into it, I told Joey, I said, Joey, I ain't doing this. I don't have time to learn it today, and I can't keep up with it. I says I'm throwing it back down. I gotta go to what I know how to do.
The way the water was going.
When y'all were bumping, what type of structure or what were you looking for when you started bumping?
We was on a constant seam, which we did a lot of scanning before we actually found fish. But where we found them was on a current seam in about anywhere from 80 to 105 foot of water. And there was hit and miss. There was rocks and trees in there, but there wasn't just a bunch of structure.
The structure, we tried a heavy structure area where we marked a lot of fish. And I was about to throw the rod. I was about to throw everything in the water. I got hung up so many times.
Hey, you sound like John when we were trying to learn how to drag baits. He'd get so frustrated, he'd throw everything down and says, "This is dumb. I ain't doing this."
Yeah. I think she tried breaking the rod a couple times just so she didn't have to do it no more.
Well, Courtney, don't feel bad. My first time on Mississippi River, I lost contact with the bottom, and the boat was moving so fast. By the time I realized I was hung, my boat had done passed. It about done snatched the rod out of my hand. I'm trying to keep it from pulling all the line off my spool of my reel and everything else,
Yep. It's never smooth sailing on the Mississippi.
Yeah, it is really, it moves. I told a guy from back home, I don't have but a 70-pound thrust trolling motor on my boat, and I had it on 10. And we were still moving backwards, wide open. I was still moving backwards like 2.5 miles an hour. I'm like, this is not just going to do it.
And
what did y'all think about the barges on the Mississippi River since y'all are used to fishing lakes? Wow,
that is unreal. There was a couple, we seen 2 or 3 that were 7x7, and words can't explain it for a lake guy. They've got 12-foot rollers rolling behind them.
There's some weight behind those dudes, especially if they're going upriver.
Yes, sir.
Even with the air ride seats, I was still miserable.
It is. It's something. It's something like I've never seen. Hey, I'm Chad. I'm gonna give away. We got this to do tonight. I've got $100 gift credit to Big Cat Fever and a $50 one, and I'm going to give them away individually. We're going to give away $100 one and a $50 one, and I'm going to start tonight. And we're going to give away a $50 gift credit here to Big Cat Fever. So y'all give me a second right here and take over chat, and I'm going to get us a winner.
I'm looking through the chat. I don't really see a whole lot of questions. So, what did you guys think about the Mississippi? I mean, it's new to you, but I mean, how did you guys like it, and what was your impression of it?
We've got different ideas. I love it naturally.
I can wait to go back.
But the tournament fishing the Mississippi makes it easier to continue on, even when you're doing bad. Just knowing how many people put triple-digit fish in the boat.
There's some really big fish there. Anytime and anywhere.
Correct. And it's a different animal. I can't explain it to anybody. Since we've been back home trying to explain it, it's words don't express how crazy the power of water is until you're on it.
You have to respect it. And you have to.
They said that Helena is going to be a little different, versus Caruthersville. So I'm looking forward to seeing the difference.
Now, was the water up on the Mississippi? Could you see much of the wing dikes? I know that's one thing you really got to be careful for.
Talking to, and y'all probably know him, Nooner Hall, he says right now it's like 15 foot up. I've never even seen wing dikes the whole week we was there. We was driving over all of the shallowest one we found was 5 foot under.
Wow.
Yeah, I know I think he told me it was 15 or so foot up. And when we got there, I know the first day out, which was Friday when we went out to fish the first day of the tournament, I didn't see no wing dikes.
Yeah.
From Sunday to Sunday, we never seen one.
But it was dropping when we were, by the time we left, there was sandbars and stuff starting to show. But
yeah, I did notice that when it started to drop, it was dropping pretty fast.
Yeah.
Because I was sort of amazed by it. We fished at one spot, and Mr. Charles Crook he took a reference on the bank at a limb. And he said, just remember where them limbs right there is at. We come back here tomorrow. We come back the next day. It just from one afternoon to the next morning, I'm going to say close to 2 foot. Because we seen some wing dikes on the last day.
Oh, wow.
Guys, the winner of the $50 gift credit here to Big Cat Fever, Catch the Fever, is going to be Chad Tuttle. Chad, if you would, you can contact me, leave me a message on Messenger, or you can contact Chad here, and we'll get this information. We're going to need to know when you contact us, put in the reference box that you won the $50 credit, and leave us your address, and we're going to get this right here to Caleb Page and them. Caleb, we want to thank you so much with Catch the Fever rods. Thank you for all that you do for us. What else you got there, Chad?
There's not a whole lot of questions. Everybody's being kind of hush tonight.
That's good for me.
Thank you, Jay.
They're just sitting back listening to what these guys have got to say.
Hey, what kind of boat y'all fish out of?
We have a G3 2400.
Well, that's a pretty new boat. They ain't been out long with the 2400s, have they?
No, sir. Ours is a 2019.
Well, good deal. You like it so far?
I do. I really do.
Yeah.
Well, we could have cooked eggs on it during the tournament. It was so hot, though. It was.
Hey, it was very hot, and I usually carry me a pair of flip-flops with me, and I throw them in the boat. I don't like to wear them, but I wear them in the boat. So I done took my shoes off, and I was barefooted, and I took one step out from up on that Benemy top, and I stepped right back up on that. Look at my
shoes, didn't you?
I did the same thing. And I left my Crocs in the sun. So when I went to put those on, they burnt my feet too.
Oh, man. Yeah, boy,
Now, it is always
it
hot
was
when we
really
go
hot.
fish MRM. It is hot
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
every year.
Courtney, what's your personal best?
50.
Where'd you
50
catch it
I'm
at?
sorry, 51. The Tennessee River.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit of when did you catch him? This past year?
Pre-fishing for the Classic.
The Cat Masters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you catch it on Wilson Wheeler or Gunnersville?
Gunnersville. I thought it was 90 with the current, but it was just 51.
Now, how did y'all like fishing the Tennessee River?
I loved it.
No,
I loved it. I can do the anchoring, and because we don't anchor a lot up here, so that was new to us, to anchor with current, and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. There was shade,
That is a beautiful stretch of the river right
It is
there.
beautiful.
Yes,
it was
is.
gorgeous. It was gorgeous.
And there are fish everywhere.
Yeah, there are fish everywhere.
Yeah, and that Gunnersville area, especially, I don't know, did y'all go up towards Scottsboro, Stevenson, up to the upper end of it, sort of?
Yes, sir. I'm not sure on the exact area. We pre-fished all the way up to the Highlands, wherever that is. That it crosses past the two different bridges, I believe.
Yeah, and that the scenery is beautiful.
Oh, it's
Especially
very,
when
very.
you look on that bank over there, and you can just see them little big hills over there. I mean, it's priceless, man. It is so beautiful.
I enjoyed the River for sure.
Yeah, and there is some. I'm gonna say this: I have not fished all over the nation, probably like y'all have, but here in the southeast a little bit. To me, it's hard to beat that Tennessee River.
The Tennessee River is a very special place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fortunate enough to be, a couple hours from any part of it.
Couple hours. You like an hour and a little bit over
an hour and a half. I'm about an hour and a half to Wilson.
Yeah.
Shay, he's trying to make us feel good about it,
You got to round up
a couple
again.
hours. Actually, it's in his back door.
He wakes up, has his coffee. I think I'm gonna go catch a 90 today. Yeah. I'll be back. I'll be back.
Oh man. Chan, what else you got there, man?
Hey, somebody's got a question to ask them. How many gallons of gas did they end up burning?
Ooh.
You don't want to know. The least amount, I do know the least amount of gas that I put in each day was 21 gallons. The most that I drove was 100, I think it was 138 miles in one day.
Wow.
Let me go back to this since they brought this up. This is your first time on the river. I want you to try to y'all come in Sunday or Monday when y'all started fishing. You're getting ready for preparing to fish for Friday. How many miles did you run? Tell us a little bit about all the work that went into this. When you got up Monday, what did you do? Did you say, we're going to go out here and did we already have some places that we wanted to check that you maybe done looked at on your sonar or on Navionics web app or something? Just tell a little bit about that, Shay, if you don't mind.
I looked into it, trying to look into it like I do pre-fishing for lakes before tournaments, to where I usually section off each one day by day by day. But Navionics on the Mississippi only shows, on my phone at least, it was like 3 foot. So I knew that wasn't right. So all I did was, I knew the weigh-in was at Caruthersville. I more or less told myself, we are going to unload from the same ramp where Spud and Bobby and Daniel had showed us. We're going to go there regardless. That's where we're going to unload. And I sectioned it off. 2 days I went north, one day going closer, the next day going a little bit further. 2 days after that, we went south. And then we decided which day or where we did better for Thursday. And we went back to check on our fish for Thursday that we had found. Yeah.
And so it takes a lot of work and a lot of time and
a lot of money.
Yeah. Biggest thing, ain't it? A lot of money. And
that's one thing about the Mississippi River is your Navionics app and stuff. Most of that river is not mapped, and even if it is, they say it changes so quick that it's just your map cards are just about useless on that river.
Right. Now the thing that it's for is wing docks, which is
Wing
what
docks.
we're learning. That's it. Outside of that, there was no use for me to pre-fish from my phone before we went.
Yeah, makes it harder to come up with a game plan, don't it?
Yes, sir.
That was the thing that really threw me off the first time we went to the the Mississippi River, is I relied so much on my Navionics and on my maps. And, we was going to get there a couple of days before the tournament. And I'm like, hey, when we get there, and this was a couple of years ago, I'm going to pull up and we'll see where we at and go check some spots. But when we got there, there is no depth, there is no contours, and I'm just sitting there scratching my head. Where we go to,
Yeah.
And I think what we done in 2 days, we rode 100 miles on Wednesday. We went 100 miles on Thursday. We went 100 miles, 50 or 60 miles south, and come back. And the next day, we went the same way north. And we was just riding and looking, and every little spot that we thought that we would check out, we had to go over and scan and look. And when the day was over, we had run a pile of miles just trying to figure out how deep is the water here, what is going to be there when we get there, because the maps didn't show you nothing.
Right.
Shane, there was a couple of times we had run. I know we had to run 30 or 40 miles, and I could see where there's like this river or this big inlet come in, and I'm like, we got to get up here and get to this. And we get all the way up there to it. And I'm like, I want to check the mouth of this. It's a good inlet, looks like it's coming in. And we get up there and it'd be like 1.5 feet deep. I'm like, this ain't what I want. I thought there was going to be some water flowing out of here.
Yeah.
When people say you can read the water, they are exactly right once you get up there and see it. The way that the water ripples when you go from deep to shallow, or like us never seeing a wing dock, you can tell exactly where the wing docks are, because there was a time as we're scanning over it, I side scan to make sure that it was deep enough underwater I could go over it. And as we're coming up to go over, Courtney's over here doing this. Babe, is that water taller? You could actually see where the water was. It looked like 2 foot taller where it came over the.
It looked like a wave that wouldn't go away. It was just like, I don't know, an elevation.
Hey, and when that water's up, that's dangerous, man, because you don't know how deep those are. People jerk the foot off their boat all the time going over those dudes when they're just right under the surface when the water's just barely over them.
I want to give a shout out to Edward Anderson. He caught one was it yesterday? 79.6.
Nice.
Hey, man, congratulations.
That's an 80-pound fish all day.
All day. We always round up.
He is with tackle 22. Hey, Edward, I even got your hat on tonight, man. Hey, congratulations. There was a question here that Brad Andrews asked. Shay and Courtney, what draw y'all guys to the most of the tournament catfishing? What caused y'all to get into tournament catfishing?
Oh, well, honestly, we started catfishing while we were camping with friends out at our lake, and we only have channel cat. And we just set up some poles right on the bank. And then Shay gradually got some better poles and some better bait and some better hooks. And then we got a pontoon boat. And we're like, okay, let's go try to fish a little bit outside the bank and different rivers or different lakes and such. And I don't really know, honestly. It went from bank fishing to tournaments real quick.
I like it for the atmosphere. The people in catfishing are, so you can't describe how good of people they are. Anybody and everybody will help you. I've watched competitors, when one person's graph goes out and they're 200 miles away from home, another competitor says, here, take mine. I've got an extra. Stuff like that.
I saw that at MRM. There was a couple left their fish finder on the front of their boat. Stacy, I believe you were there that year. they left their fish finder on the front of their boat, trailered it back to the hotel, and got back and realized they didn't have their hummingbird, and somebody pulled one off their boat and gave it to them to use. And I think those people actually caught big fish of the day that year.
They did,
and
they
they were ready to go home. But
yeah.
it's a great bunch of people.
They're like family. Everybody's like family.
Yeah. Now, how long have y'all been? How long have you been catfishing, then tournament fishing?
Tournament fishing. This would be our full, I would say, second year. We got into it in a small trail 3 years ago. Whenever I was off, but as far as actual tournament fishing, traveling and going after as much as we can, 2 years.
Yeah. And so far, so good.
Yes, sir. I love it. I grew up catfishing with my dad, and my grandma's actually the one that taught me how to fish. My grandma found out Bill Dance was at the tournament this last weekend, and that was my requirement. I had to get a picture with him to send her so she could show her friends. But as far as serious fishing, like she said, in a boat, finding fish, patterning fish, this would be our second year.
Yeah. Now,
Thank you, Sterling.
Courtney, how long have you been? Are you new to fishing, or how long have you been doing this?
I'm definitely
fishing.
Definitely new to catfishing. I mean, grew up, fishing the pond. Got excited when a perch hit my line, So this is definitely new to me, but I enjoy the challenge. I actually love, one of my bigger passions, not bigger, but aside from catfishing, is striper fishing. That's another one of my go-tos, but I definitely love catfishing.
Well, Courtney, I'm going to say this. I watched the video of y'all catching this big fish. Now Shay done a good job at what he done. But you know who put the fish in the boat?
That was very hard.
I'm going to tell you, you done a great job. I was sitting there watching you. I'm like, she had this net, boy, hey, you knew just what you was doing.
As soon as it would surface, that current would just bring it back. And, I'm not going to hook the side of its body. So I'm like, you got to do it again. You got to do it again. So, yeah.
Hey, the fight's what you do it for anyway, right? So you gave him the most fight out of that fish he could have.
I did all 4 times. Yeah. But I couldn't ask for a better partner. But I've got friends that are guys, and I know I've seen some of them are in the chat. They might get mad me saying it, but I've got friends, they can't do what she does. She can run with any of the guys. Female Angler Award doesn't mean nothing to her. She's still going for first overall.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I'm telling you, I'm gonna give her credit where credit is due. Cause I seen the fish, I couldn't actually see the fish, but I knew it come up, and she just didn't jab at it with that net. Mm-hmm. She waited. She knew she just patiently waited, and bam, she waited till the next time it come up, because everybody can't do that. I mean, there's some people just jabbing at it. And
you scare them and they run the line out.
Oh, yeah. Man. Knock the hook out.
Yeah. I was like, he's getting on this boat. He is getting on this boat. He's getting on this boat.
You know what? One of my fears is, I mean, when you go to net one, I'm like, don't net him unless you know you can get him.
Right.
I got him hooked because I'm always thinking, what if you miss him and my hook gets caught in the net and he's on the outside the net?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, he's a goner, Don't net him until you know you can get him.
Yep.
Hey, do you know Steve Wilson?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's my stepdad.
Hey, he said you're gonna
That's my dad. Hey. What's up, Pops?
Well, Pops is in the house tonight, man.
Hey.
He's watching y'all.
Now let me ask y'all a question. So you two being married, when you get on that boat and you start fishing a tournament, is there any tension there?
I'm going to be honest, yes. And it's mainly me most of the time. That heat in Crothersville, I'm not going to lie, it turned a different switch on in my head because I was miserable. I was burning up. and the boat would slow down and speed up. I'd lose my bump, or the bump would go backwards, and I get irritated, and it's easy to take it out on him because he is my husband, but he handles it so well. Nobody else would.
Well, I'm gonna share this since you brought this up, Chad. Because man, when my wife goes off fishing with me sometimes, and she likes to just go out and relax, and we're hanging to a big one, and I don't mean nothing by it, but my adrenaline man gets to going, and I'm like, I got a 50+ pound on the rest, and I'm hollering, get the net, and she's hollering, don't you holler at me.
Uh-huh.
The day I caught that 92, Beth told me, I'll go fish that tournament with you, but you better not get mad at me and holler at me about nothing. You gotta take it too serious.
Yeah.
I'll be hollering, get the net. She said, I said, you ain't moving fast enough. He's almost here.
Yeah.
Hey, Stacy Scott said there's some people will get on the float pods to net a fish. You don't know nothing about that, do you?
Hey, let me tell you this, especially when you're desperate, because I think what was it? That was the Cabela's.
That was Cabela's.
Man, we was coming up through there, and man, 45. I think he weighed in at 45 pounds. I don't think it was 48. I think 45. And we really needed this fish because we didn't have but one more in the live well, and it was probably about like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And that fish, he must have took B12s and a steroid shot. He was pulling. He got back out of the back, and we was on that Dynasty, and he done went down once or twice, and I got back on the back of the pod. I said, just get him close. We got to get this fish.
Yeah.
I done kicked my shoes
with that RS net, you can get on out there and get him, though, can't you?
Yeah, that ain't no joke.
If he comes up, I'm getting him.
We call it the soccer goal.
Yeah.
That's what we
Grab
call
the
ours.
soccer goal.
Well, yeah, those things are. Now, do you have the catfish net or that solo slimer?
We actually got the next step up from the solo slimer, so it is.
Oh wow!
It is huge.
Oh,
I got the solo slimer and that 92, and it looked like a 40-pound fish.
That's
why when you put it in the water, like you have to turn it right when the tail's about to be there, because if you hold it in there, more than a couple of seconds, that net was gone.
It's gone.
I sent a picture to Jeff Miller. I said, the only problem with this net is it makes a 66 look like a 26. That's it.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I can too. But one thing, and I tell people when they go to order nets, I said, if you're trophy fishing, you get a net like that. Some people say it was just too big and this, that, and other. I said, my thing is, if we hang the fish of a lifetime, when we get him up here, we're not going to have to struggle to try to get him started head first or tail first. I'm like just
hanging out the net.
Yeah.
Turning sideways, it don't matter.
Yeah.
It don't make no difference. Yeah, you don't have to get him started a certain way.
Yeah.
And that's really nice. I'm going to go ahead right now while we're here. So give me just a second. I'm going to give away that other $100 gift to the Big Cat Fever. Caleb had these the last time he was on, and we got to talking so much we didn't give none of them away. And last week we had so many. Chad, take over just a second here, man. And
so tell me what, besides the camaraderie, what is it about tournament catfishing that you guys enjoy so much? Is it a competition? Are you naturally kind of competitive? And
oh yeah.
Well, I can see Courtney shaking her head.
I mean, we met playing competitive co-ed softball, so
it's always something.
I think we've played something competitive ever since. I mean,
it's always something new, different water. It's not like going to our local lake. Oh, fish are usually here this time of the year. Fish are usually it's always something new. There is a challenge, and fishing at this level, it's the best of the best. They're the best. They don't get any better. And fishing against, like when learning to bump and knowing we're fishing against people like the Massingales and Larry Muse, and competing is an amazing feeling. And I love the challenge as well as she she's more into the challenge itself, and when it doesn't go her way,
I am
it's
very
not always
competitive.
fun, but
It's sometimes a downfall.
it's more
I mean,
rewarding.
Too competitive, but I can't
Now,
help
Miss
it.
Courtney, you won the female angler,
Yes, sir.
didn't you? That's what
Yes.
I thought. Yeah. So you got 12th and overall, and you won the female. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Her second one this year.
Like she ain't playing no games, is she, Shad?
You getting down there in amongst them.
Yeah.
All right, the winner of the $100 gift credit right here is Josh. Josh, I can't even pronounce your last name, but you see the
Kolwych.
winner. How you pronounce it?
Kolwych.
Kolwych.
Yeah.
Hey, give it.
Mhm.
Contact me or Chad. Send us a message. Tell us that you was the winner of the $100 gift credit to Big Cat Fever, and send us your address, and we will get this forward right here to them. We want to thank you so much for being a part of our program here tonight. We do have one more giveaway we're going to give away here at the end. I'm going to give away a set of 4 SmackDown rod holders, 4-inch rod holders, any color that you want. So stay tuned. Chad, what
There's
else you
another
got here?
question here. It says, in your opinion, does the catfish world have a good supply of younger people in the pipeline coming up in it? And I think there is. I see a lot of younger people getting real excited. Scott's grandson, Caden's one of them. You know, he's all over it, all about it. How about out there where you guys are at and what y'all are seeing on the trails and stuff?
Yes, sir. And
Absolutely.
our son and daughter fish with us as well. And he's already, I'm gonna be a famous catfisherman when I grow up. He thinks we're famous because we're on this show right now. He's wearing his jersey in the room next to
Hey,
us.
man, you are famous.
SmackDown famous.
Uh-huh. But yes, here there is at the Lake Tawakoni Cat Masters this year, there was I believe he was 12 and he put a 67 in.
Yeah,
And
and
it
he came to the classic and weighed in a couple more big fish.
But there's quite a few in
forgot that
the
kid's
youth
name.
division, and they're not playing no games like y'all say. They're doing it too.
Yeah, and you go around to some of your smaller local trails, and you'll see a lot of kids on boats. A lot of I believe there is, and I believe the sport of catfishing is growing, and it's just going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can't wait.
Chad, let me do this right here before I go any further, and we'll get ready to wrap it up here in a few minutes. Guys, my next giveaway is I'm going to give away a set of SmackDown rod holders. I want to try to make sure that if you want these rod holders, put in the comment bar rod holders. There may be some people on here that don't need any. You got plenty of them, but if you're looking for some rod holders and like to have a set of 4, I'm going to choose tonight from the ones who have put rod holders in the comment bar here at the end. So throw that in there, and that's where we'll be looking from. Thank you.
You can't have too many SmackDown rod holders on your boat. What are you talking about, man?
Let me tell you this. I'm going to just say this, and I'm going to let it be. I was fishing with Joseph Scott Jr. in his boat. Now, y'all will notice this next time you're out, because I'm sitting there in his boat, and I started counting. He had 21 or 22 rod. I said, I think you hold the record as I know of right now. It was 21 or 22 rods. He said, whichever way my boat's positioned, I'm able to put rods in the right place. I said, I believe it.
You didn't have to try to find a spot to put your rod when you was on his boat, did you?
Just wherever you sit down at, there was a rod holder in front of you.
And somebody asked how old y'all's kids were.
12 and 4.
Wow.
Yep.
There's
We saw
something.
the little girl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's something too.
She was in here earlier, wasn't she?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Tell her about a Wonder Woman outfit that she had.
She's gonna be a witch for Halloween.
Witch for Halloween.
Yeah.
I reckon Courtney went to get her.
Oh yeah. They'll both be in here.
Oh.
Somebody asked how much time you spend just scanning during pre-fishing.
Pre-fishing, especially new water, a lot. we don't use much bait. Like the first day or two on the Mississippi, we might have used 5 skipjack a day at most.
There they are, right there.
Yeah.
Introduce them to it. Everybody wants to know who y'all are.
What's your name?
Stevie Weston.
Stevie and Weston.
Hey, good
What's
to see
going
y'all
on, guys?
Good to see you.
Yeah. Hey, and y'all all decked out. I'm telling you, y'all ready to go. Do y'all like to fish?
Yeah. And I have a fishing tournament, sir.
I see. Listen, can you catch a fish?
Yep.
I caught a huge fish earlier.
Hey, always
It was
always a
big.
big one, all right?
How big?
She's got it figured out already.
Oh yeah, round up.
Already. Good deal. Well, listen, is there anything else, Chad, you want to add or anything before we get ready to close out here?
I don't. I'm good.
All right. Anybody, Courtney, you and Shay, take y'all's time. Anybody want to give a shout out to? Anybody want to thank? Throw it in here now.
You got it.
There's a list, and I hope I don't miss any. Dale's Tackle, he takes very, very good care of us. And slime cat rods, partners in slime, the bobby weights, got to have those for our home lakes. SmackDown CatFishing, they don't get no better rod holders. That's for sure. Multi-bar rod racks, Cat River anchors, Parks planers, RS Nets USA, Dallas Canvas, River Rats Reel Repair. I got turned to him this year, and that I thought I was gonna have to throw them away, and I got told to send them to him. And from now on, I'm just gonna start buying used ones on eBay and send them to him because they work better than new. Jarrett does really, really good work. And then Backyard Sports Apparel, they make all of our jerseys, and they take really good care of us as well. We like to stand out. That way, if we ain't catching the big fish, at least we was seen.
Hey,
If you're not catching them, look good while you're trying.
Exactly.
Chad, you know that you give me a hard time, and I've got a hard time. Shay, for all these years, they've always given me a hard time for wearing pink. And when I seen you that day, when I first time I seen you, the first time I said he got pink on too.
Yeah, we like standing out. It's worked for us. We can't get away from it now. That's kind of like the name here, Kitty Kitty. It's gonna stick.
We would go somewhere fishing, and Chad say, "Man, you got your pink shirt?" I said, "I got my pink shirt in here with me, and we fish tomorrow. I'm gonna have it on."
Look, I would always. It's always easy to find, Stacy. You just look for the pink shirt.
Oh, I want to do this here. We fish and give away these rod holders. Give me just 1 second. Chad, anybody you want to give a shout out to, man?
Man, Dale's Tackle, Jarrett with River Rats, SmackDown CatFishing, Bobby Waits, all great guys. And that, like you guys said, man, the catfishing community is just it's great to be a part of. I love the tournaments, the bigger tournaments. You get to see all these people that you don't get to see on a normal basis, and hang out and chat.
And the atmosphere, you can't describe the atmosphere. Just like us catching, we was all competitors at the Cat Masters. But me and her catching a 66, I've never been hugged so much in my life from people that got knocked out of the money from us catching that, or not quite out of the money, but not lower in the ranks because we're all against each other in the points race. But everybody's on everybody. Just like when you caught that 92, I was probably just as excited just to see it as you was.
Yeah. I don't know. I was pretty excited when I seen that.
It was a really good fish.
Thank you.
I mean, I was taking pictures of you and I didn't even know you.
Yeah. We were talking earlier. I had forgot you guys sent me a bunch of videos and stuff on Messenger. And you actually had some of the better pictures of that fish.
Thank you.
And I'm glad you guys did. I appreciate that. Thank you a lot.
Yeah. I'm going to do this right here, and we're going to get ready to. I do have the winner, but I want to read something before I close tonight. It's in the book of Psalms, chapter 37, verses 4 and 5. And it says, delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thy heart. Commit thy ways unto the Lord, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. Guys, I've enjoyed being on here this afternoon with y'all. The winner of the rod holders, Justin Hay. Justin, message me on SmackDown Messenger, or Stacy Gaston. Tell me you're the winner of the rod holders, and also give me your address and let me know what color that you want, and we'll get them shipped out to you. Hey, Stevie, tell them hey one more time. Guys, good to
She's
have
already a
y'all.
movie star.
Oh yeah.
She's a natural at it.
Yeah.
She's got lots of practice on our phones.
Oh, well, guys, we've been enjoying having y'all on here. Shay and Courtney, thank y'all so much. Stevie, glad to have you in here with us tonight. You made my day.
Thank
I
you.
think that's why we got over 100 viewers in here watching us right now, is because of you.
She's a little dog.
Mhm. She knows it too.
Mhm.
Yeah. Listen, we've been to jump off of here. God bless y'all, and y'all have a great week this week. Look forward to seeing y'all next week.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Thanks for having us.
Thank y'all.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Hang on one second.